Welcome to round 9, the wrap. Carlos Del Rio
and Simon Morgan
here, bringing you what goes on in Warrnambool soccer here in the week that was the week that Australia made the World Cup. Australia, Brazil. We're going to Brazil. Congratulations to the Socceroos. We're all very proud of you guys, and we can't wait for the World Cup to roll on next year. And there's, I'm sure that next year we'll have some more celebratory games and late nights and all sorts of things, because it brings out the soccer players when it's a World Cup, especially in Australia there. So it might be a big year for soccer here in Warrnambool as well. But it was a big week in Warrnambool soccer anyway. A Friday night game at Harris Street. And then there was a game at Warrnambool over in Scotts Creek and one in Hamilton. So the Friday night game was between the Thunderhawks and the Marai Stingrays. They were, just looking at the letter at the moment here, Simo, we were looking at an interesting scenario because the Thunderhawks came from a very strong win against Jennifer Rangers on the Sunday and had to regroup again for a Friday night game, and they regrouped well. The Stingrays, my team, were without the captain Michael Mills, picking up a red card in the previous game, so he served a suspension. But we also lost our #1 keeper in Declan Irvine, who got injured in the school soccer competition on that Tuesday night, which cost us not having #1s and #2 keepers. Nigel Gray stepped up 2 goals, and we had the bare minimum of players available for this game. But Stingrays played a strong game. Very strong game my team played. Unfortunately, we couldn't put it at the back of the net. The Thunderhawks could, and it started with Karen Silva on the 27th minute. Karen, congratulations, picked up the ball from a defensive mistake, and nobody went to tackle her, and she said, "I'll take a shot, thank you very much," and boom, goal. Congratulations, Karen. That was a first goal for the Thunderhawks, first half, and it ended up a 1-0 half. At that stage, not much in it. It was a late goal to Lincoln Warren. So it was 2-0 at the half, I beg your pardon. Lincoln Warren picked up a tap-in from a corner that went past the goal face, and he tapped it in on the 35th minute to be leading 2-0 at the half. Dan Sedgley then stepped up. Dan Sedgley on the 59th minute. Got another goal to make it 3-0 game. The only thing that the Stingrays could pick up was a yellow card to Sam Blackburn on the 77th minute, so couldn't score, and we even got booked for that. So congratulations, the Hawks. The Hawks played a very strong game. In summary, they're on the roll. I showed you last week the form of the teams, and they've had 2 wins in the previous phase.
Run straight now. So
now they're in the 2 wins again. Something can happen in this next round, so it's interesting to see what's going to happen in the 3rd round. But that was a Friday night game. Simo,
noticed Marai Stingrays, your boys, haven't been able to put together a streak.
We haven't been able to put a streak.
You've only had the 1 win. You were able to back it up with a draw, but you haven't been able to back it up back-to-back wins. So
we're one of these teams that haven't had a streak yet, so we're looking for a streak to come on in the final phase of the season. So the Thunderhawks went to 15 points, leaving the Stingrays on 10 points. They're at the middle of the table. The next game was at Warrnambool, between Scotts Creek Lions and Deakin Dragons, for that matter. So, interestingly enough, very good game. I was there assisting Stan Branch at the game. We got some footage of the game coming up now. You'll be able to see some of the goals, but it didn't take long for the goal scoring to start, with Timmy White scoring in the 4th minute.
Good stuff.
From a corner. Dragons were awarded the corner. The corner came in, hit a couple of players, landed at Timmy White's feet, and he coolly passed the ball past the keeper. I won't say he shot it past, but he picked his spot and wrong-footed the keeper for a nice, very good goal. to give the Dragons the lead for the first time in a long time. They're talking about streaks. the Dragons have had a long list of losing streaks. But they hit the lead early on, so congratulations. And they stayed as 1-0 at the half. Scotts Creek had a good team as well. Except Liam Johnson, I was impressed by his corners for the Lions. Louis Guy, strong in defence again, but I think the difference for the Dragons was that Chris Bellman was out of goals for this game.
Okay.
Liam Drake to put on the gloves for them. Chris wasn't feeling too well to play in goals, but as a fullback, he's one of the best, and he certainly did a great job.
Just a great all-round. Stick him anywhere, and you're going to get something.
But with Chris in the back, that gave him the opportunity to push Aidan Lyon up front, who is one of these attacking players that they need to be playing at. And him and Timmy White up front linked up pretty well. They had a few more shots, the Dragons, in the first half. Could have taken the lead a little bit further, but it wasn't to be. The Lions had a couple of opportunities, and it wasn't until Matt Boyle hit the park that they started to sort of gel together and get a few more shots on target, and Liam Drake did a good job stopping a few of those. Other standouts were Levy Gaddick and Connor Bellman, boys from the junior competition, just coming back after playing here at Harris Street, the President's Cup. And they hopped in a car and went to
the road trip.
Went to Scotts Creek and backed that up too. So congratulations to those boys again, because they helped the team keep that lead. And but they kept it till the 57th minute when Louis Guyett scored to make it 1-1. I'm just trying to remember whether that was a penalty or not. I don't think so. I think it was an open play. I think it was an open play shot, and well done to Louis. But Aidan Lyon got one back in the 65th minute to give it a 2-1 lead to the Dragons, and then it was on. It was a game for the last 25 minutes of the game. It was definitely a massive game. Arm wrestle all the way to the end. Some good saves from the Lions, and the Dragons again couldn't capitalise on a couple of attacking plays, including, believe it or not, Joel Barker had a shot on goals. He didn't go in, but he was actually had the keeper beaten. So, but 2-1 to the Dragons, which gave them the first win in a long time. So
snap the Dragon monkeys off the back, good on you, Dragons.
So that made them climb to 6 points in the ladder, just below 7 points Lions. So guess what? That makes it very interesting at the bottom 4 teams. We'll talk about the top 2 game in a minute, but that top 3-4 position is up for grabs. Teams, it's up for grabs. 15, 10, 7 and 6. Only a couple of games in it before to play finals. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next 6 rounds of the season that we have left. Simo. The final game was at Hamilton College between Hamilton Raiders and Jetty Flat Rangers. Simo, I'll let you talk about that game. You were there, and there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, it was. It was, as most of you could imagine, it was basically the battle of the Colossus. We had 1 versus 2. We had Hamilton Raiders looking at picking up a win at home and extending their lead to put them up to 20, potentially to 24 points. And the Jetty Flat Rangers, well, we wanted to go up there, we wanted to get a win. Not only did we want to get a win, but we wanted to get a win at home and be the first team this year to snatch victory from Jetty Flat Rangers and put ourselves back up into top place. So you could appreciate that both teams.
Hamilton, talking about streaks, Hamilton Raiders had a few home games this season, and the form at home is very strong. But coming off 7 straight wins, we said it was the round of upsets last week, and it can be, and I think it could have happened. Keep going tonight.
I'll continue on. So both teams, having a fair bit at stake, and it didn't take long. Actually, it was a bit of a tussle. Truth be told, it wasn't until the 21st minute that Michael Romans picked up the first goal, and only 4 minutes later, Tommy Seifel joined in the party to make it a 2-0 lead for the Jetty Flat Rangers. Only a minute later, the James Taylor from a free kick put in a 26-minute goal, and that's the way it stayed for the half. It stayed at 2-1, Jetty Flat Rangers way. That's, I think, after that first half, and going sort of creeping into the second half, the tensions started to boil over a little bit. And it wasn't necessarily aimed at other players, but unfortunately, it pains me to say this, but our boys have started to lose their head a little bit. A lot of yellow cards as we'll go on soon enough. And as you'll see below, first yellow card for the match. Rob Evan, a bit of an average tackle, and he would probably agree with that as well. So he picked up a yellow card in the 26th minute. Second half, as I said, really started to heat up. Jetty Flat, our boys, not quite where we wanted to be. We wanted to be a lot further out in front. Hamilton, really behind the 8 ball, so to speak, and wanting to pull back. But I think it was our boys, and in particular a few players, that really started to wear their heart on their sleeves, and it shows because the list of yellow cards nearly rivals the actual goal scorers. But the goal scorers in the second half, so we didn't have to wait long. It was in the 48th minute, James Taylor again picking up a goal for Hamilton Race, making it 2-2, and that's when things started to get a little bit tedious at that point and a little bit on edge. But despite it all, Jetty Flat Rangers were able to pick up some more goals, and that was in the 58th minute, courtesy of Tom Southwell again, so giving a brace.
You make this too. Well done, Tommy. I heard you played a good game for parts of the game, including the 2 goals. So well done in that respect.
Yeah.
However,
it's at that point where things started to get a little bit on edge. It was only a couple of minutes later that Tom Southwell actually picked up a yellow card. Victor Cameron, about 12 minutes prior, picked up a yellow card as well for dissent. And Tom's
first yellow was for dissent.
Yeah.
And
Steve Shields picked up a card at the 67th minute. Prior to that though, Malcolm Prim actually picked up a straight red for a tackle. Yeah, it was a pretty average tackle, and our boys were expecting a card, a red card that came out, so I think they were close in that regard, but it was a bit sloppy, a bit average form on our part, so hopefully we'll be able to keep our emotions in check. We pushed on, we were able to get Jason Sutton into the party. He picked up a goal in the 69th minute. Scoring again in the 80th minute. Lee Hunter getting in on the action, 83rd minute. That's when the goals sort of started to flow.
It was 10 to 11 at that point too, so I guess the numerical advantage must have played a part as well in the goals. But it wasn't after Lee Hunter's 83rd minute goal. We're back to 10 versus 10.
Tom Southwell picked up a
red from a very clumsy tackle, I believe I got from the referee. One of those tackles that you should just
don't commit
yourself to him, because even though you might think you win the ball, if there's a leg in between it, and the referee duly played it, and he was already on the yellow, but he got a straight red for that particular tackle. So it's interesting because the yellows will stand as well as the red card suspensions for those. 85th minute.
A minute later, and perhaps it's. I think from what I remember from this particular goal, it was just a bit of sloppy defending on our part, not marking. Basically across, Lucio Mwale was right in the box, and he was just able to sneak it past my right side.
It's good on you. I believe it's a 15-year-old kid. He's been scoring a few goals for the Raiders this season, and he's going away representing the Wolves at the country championships as well. So so congratulations on that goal, and your other performances as well that I've seen in the reports that I got from your coaches. forward to having him at the country championships next weekend. But Jason Sutton, come on, this guy, he can't stop him scoring for their team. The Rangers are a very attacking side, and when they play their football, Timo, when you guys play football, you guys are one of the best teams going around the whole competition for a few years. But you got a few hot hits in the team, and the league's been made aware of the situation that happened in Hamilton as well. The referees are having a meeting in the off week to discuss how we're going to deal with it. But one of the things that, from the league's perspective, is that chatting back to referees, and especially the pack mentality, will not be tolerated. And I believe that from the report that I got, is your team were very lucky they only got that many yellow cards. I think a lot more could have come out. And it was a very tense game. Both teams were on edge, but there was one that was particularly worse off, I believe, than the other. So, but in saying that, the goals did come when 10 went down. Obviously, Mel Rimmer let his team down, getting that red card and making it 10-11, and this is when the goals came in as well.
Yeah.
So,
I think the Raiders really did miss Malcolm Grimmer on the pitch, just to because he's just such a presence.
He is, and Mel, you're a fantastic player. You are a great player, but again, you sort of there's times where you've shown that you go in a little bit hard, and unless you time it properly, or there is a real intent that you're going to win the ball without taking anyone out, they'll come to hurt you. So there's a couple of players obviously not available. Last week we had a first red card. This week we got 2 red cards. So the referees are starting to pull them out, and good on them, because we need to sort of stamp out so that it makes it enjoyable for everyone else, and to make sure that everyone plays within the rules of the game, because the rules are there. But
I want to pass a quick cheer out to Lee Hunter and Angelo Vandermew, the odd couple of sorts in the back line of the Jenny Flat Rangers. I hear you boys will be heading off down to Tasmania, and I wish you all the best in your civil union.
Okay, fantastic. I didn't get the invite, but yes, we're looking forward to the photos to come back into the league. Actually, we might do that. We might make sure that we get a spy going over and taking a few photos of them. But in saying that win, however you got it. You went up to 21 points. Hamilton Raiders 21 points, so it's now down to goal difference, and you guys have got a stronger goal difference at the moment than the Raiders, courtesy of some one-sided games in the past. But it'll be interesting to see what happens in round 10. We got the Melbourne Victory Gala Day, and we've got 3 games happening here at Harris Street Reserve.
All 3.
So what's going to be happening on that round is Hamilton have asked for the round to be played here in Warrnambool, so their juniors can have a chance to come and meet the Victory players, as well as the parents. Some of the parents play here. So that game between Hamilton Raiders and Corangamite Lions will be Scotts Creek Lions will be played here at Harris Street Reserve. But first there'll be the Thunder Hawks versus Deakin Dragons at 1 o'clock.
And that will be a very good game.
I think the Dragons, now that they've got the taste of winning, they don't want to keep winning. But can the Hawks break that streak that they've just been kept at 2 wins? 2 wins. Can they get the 3rd win in a row? That's something to look forward to. And finally, Jenny Flat Rangers and Melrose Stingrays will play at 3 o'clock at Harris Street Reserve. Obviously, Jenny Flat Rangers will be without some of their players.
He will be missed.
Tom Southall, but I reckon Victor Cameron's just picked up his 3rd as well. So I need to have a look at what cards are around for that game.
That's a 2nd for Rob, I believe.
Yeah.
So.
Stevie Shields, I'm pretty sure that's his first, but I better double check that. We will be checking that and have that available to the referees. But Tommy Southall obviously unavailable for that game, and we'll see what else. And obviously Malcolm Grimmer also not able to play against the Corangamite Lions.
And that might work in the favour of Scotts Creek Lions as well. So
sure will. Yeah, that's the big day on the 7th of July.
Free.
To have some footage and an interview next week from a special guest. He was going to be trying to get it this round, but we'll make sure that we actually interview him during match day. We'll have him here. Everyone's here at Harris Socceroos, so we'll just have a quick little interview to know what's going on there. And that will be the last game of phase 2. And then we're down to the final phase where I think it's going to get, the soccer's going to get a lot interesting. A lot more on the line. Referees have been told that to take nothing anymore, so look out for those cards coming out. If you're one of these players that likes to talk back, talk through your captain. That's probably the only advice I will be giving my players, and I'm sure everyone should be giving their own team. Remember, 3 yellow cards mean suspensions for the next game in our league.
Suspension.
Until round 13. If you keep yourself to 2 for 13 weeks, that's how we play this game here in Warrnambool. But in saying that, keep the comments coming. I believe we're in the Wolves' Hell too, Simo. The Wolves' Hell, the junior newspaper goes out.
Yes, I did see what you mentioned. So
the Wolves TV, so there might be a few juniors watching this show, so we'll make sure we get some footage of the juniors at the Melbourne Victory Gala Day as well.
Yes.
When we talk, you don't want to hear us, so you want to see some action on the field. Well, I think that's it, Simo. What do you want to say? Anything else to the punters?
Go Socceroos.
Go Socceroos. I'm going to Brazil.
Carlos is going to Brazil.
When my baby smiles at me, I go to Rio.
See you next week.
Carlos Del Rio.